Yeah, I don't think that was on the list for the conversation.
You win by an inch or
winning is winning.
Winning is winning. No, I mean, it's only fair. Daniel Ricciardo's been a good team player. It's time for Lando.
Welcome to Friends with Cars, F1 Talk.
Oh, welcome back.
F1 edition, welcome back. Welcome back to Baku, Azerbaijan. Before we get going, guys, I know we skipped one podcast because somebody, we're not going to name names, was on vacation, on holiday. They were on holiday. For those of you who might not understand the difference between, vacation and holiday, they're the fucking same. It's the same thing. I had to learn that one from Australian. You know, it takes Daniel Ricciardo to let you know when you're struck. If you recall, at the end of our Imola podcast, we made predictions for the following race, which would have been Monaco, which we didn't do a recording for. But Gustavo here got the closest prediction, and we did not. So we had to go back to the recordings, actually. And the recording, Jessica here actually said the winner has to take shots.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. And then Gustavo later clarified in the podcast that, well, wait, you mean the loser or the winner gets to choose the shots for the other two? Absolutely. And that is why we're here. So I have some whiskey. Yeah, this is their chosen shot. I was not a complete douche. I actually gave them a choice of what they wanted to drink, and this is what they chose. Appreciate that. I don't know that they were expecting to take a shot or me to make them take a shot today, but it's happening. So, guys, I want to see the faces. I want to see all the glory. Cheers.
Cheers.
You losers. That's good. That's what you chose. That's
the vanilla.
You chose that one.
It was all gonna be bad.
This is really good. This is not sponsored by either of the spirits, but if they wanted to sponsor us, you're welcome to do so. Anyway, lots to talk about this race. It was an early one, 4 a.m., 6 a.m. for us.
I did not wake up for the race.
So she had to watch the reruns. Somebody's a loser. There was a lot that happened, but there were obviously, as we always do, we talk about kind of the key takeaways for us. I'm skipping kind of more towards the middle of the race, and one of the bigger things was the Ferrari power unit and its reliability or lack of reliability. Started off with Carlos Sainz getting a DNF. And then I think it was both the Ferraris back to back. First. Yeah, lap 9 and lap 20. And lap 9 is early. And I think they had there was another race where they were experiencing some power unit issues, and it was another hot race. And I want to contribute it to the heat. I want to get your guys' takes, but who else got the DNF? Well, Zhou Guanyu, who's also running a Ferrari engine, was out.
And then Magnussen.
And then, of course, Magnussen, who also has Ferrari power. Listen, I want to say, if your engine's gonna blow and it's not gonna work out for you, I'd rather it happen in the second lap than 30 laps in when you get all excited. I mean, what's the point, right? Let's face it, Ferrari's power units are shit, and they haven't been able to perform. I would say, I know if this is just, maybe it's just a Leclerc curse. I mean, anytime he's finished, he's gotten P1 on a race the last 4 times, he's not won. He's either crashed or did not finish.
He's got a DNF the last 3 out of 4 races or something like that.
He's got 3 races that are
DNF. 2 out of 3 races.
So, I think, it was unfortunate that happened. I was hoping that Carlos was going to do better. Carlos has been the ultimate Bottas recreation that I can think of. He's like, he moved to Ferrari and we're like, oh, this is going to be nice. And he's not a finisher.
He's coasting.
Not a finisher.
Yeah. That's what she
yes, the Ferrari reliability is going to be a problem. If my car was powered by a Ferrari engine, I would be shaking in my boots. I think Bottas was probably sweating.
I mean, who hasn't had a DNF? Mercedes.
Mercedes is like the old trusty.
Yeah.
They're not
reliable.
All reliable is there. And we'll talk more about, the old people driving
Mercedes. They're having back issues now.
Well, he is kind of old, no?
You take back shots, you're going to have back issues with
Back
in the car.
Red Bull is first in the constructors championship, and then it's a close second by Ferrari. Hopefully, I honestly want to see Red Bull back at Ferrari back at top. Red Bull, yeah, I'm a fan of Red Bull, but Ferrari is just, we haven't seen a dominant Ferrari team, and Ferrari seems to be, I think you bring it up, it's like, it's Ferrari the Yankees of Formula One, and I want to see that come back.
I can see that. I do think that it kind of sucks when there's one team that's kind of dominating the entire, grid, and I think we had that with Mercedes for 7 years, 7.9 years until the FIA decided to award the championship that year, not F1. But we talked about that many times. So, yeah, I think it's nice to have a little variety. I think it's nice. Baku, in particular, this Azerbaijan race, it's nice because I feel like it's more of a level ground for everybody. There's a pretty long straight. There's a lot of turns. And you saw Vettel perform well today. We saw, Grand Yu was doing well. Ricardo got in the points. Jesus, Ricardo got in the points. Like we're shocked that that's happening now. That wasn't a shocking thing before. Now it's like he's in the points. I mean, so drivers were doing, except for Stroll. Stroll will never do well. And he didn't do well this time around.
Or Latifi.
Well, Latifi finished 15. And he was just, even though he had 10 seconds in the pit and then he had a 5-second penalty, he still finished 15. Why? Because the other 5 cars died.
The only four DNFs that we had were the Ferrari-powered cars, right?
There must have been
the other Stroll was the other car.
Oh, Stroll. That's right.
But then again, that could have been just Stroll.
This track was actually really good for the fact that there was no full safety cars. There were only virtual safety cars.
Only virtual.
There's a lot of runoff areas.
There were a lot of runoff areas, and it just happened that Carlos Sainz, when he got his DNF, he was able to just go right into one of those turn-off areas, and it was easy access for them to get the car off the track. And then I think Leclerc limped off track.
Right.
It happened that he was just about to enter the back straight, and the power unit blew out, so he just limped back to the pits.
And same thing for Stroll. I think there was the engine issue, so then he was able to limp back to the pits as well.
Yeah.
So it worked out well. I want to point out, though, that our boy Sebastian Vettel went off the track, and he just did a perfect, beautiful spin.
Yes, he
that
did.
got to get to the track. I want to point out this is the same spot that Lando Norris had to do a 5-point turn.
Well, Sebastian Vettel knows how to drift.
This is true. So experience came in handy there with the veteran.
Yeah, he drifted around that. He flipped the car all the way around. He said, "No, I got this. We're good."
How do you feel that Lando Norris pretty much gave Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, I don't think that was on the list for the
Doesn't matter if
conversation.
you win by an inch or a mile.
Winning is winning.
Winning is winning. No, I mean, it's only fair. Daniel Ricciardo's been a good team player. And it's time for Lando to be a good team player.
And it was pretty sad that the radio, that was exactly what they told Lando.
Yeah.
They told him,
Returning the favor.
We're returning the favor. And that's the only reason he didn't pass him. But he was being a cheeky bee.
He also still would have gotten in the points.
Yeah.
It's just he just finished a position higher.
Well, you have to assert your dominance. When you're the better driver, you got to make sure you let everybody know. One spot is one spot.
I guess today Daniel Ricciardo was a better driver.
We'll see what the future holds for Daniel Ricciardo.
I see Haas in his future.
Oh,
he loves America
gosh.
and does the American team. I'm telling
Maybe
you.
he'll go to NASCAR.
Oh no, he can't do that. IndyCar, that's got to be the lowest he's got to go. IndyCar. Yeah, we'll see what the history holds for Daniel Ricciardo.
It's gonna be
I'm hoping
just
for the best.
Fine. Everything's fine. The house is on fire, but everything's fine.
I did see, I think I sent it to you. It was a very funny meme of a McLaren throwing a little paper plane into a Red Bull trailer. And someone in Red Bull opened the paper and it said, "How did you get rid of Ricciardo quietly?" I think McLaren's trying to get rid of Ricciardo. I think they realize. This is a meme, of course.
This is a meme. Okay, got it.
Didn't actually happen, but I think it's true. I think we all see it. I think we all see it, the red on the wall. I think McLaren understands that Ricciardo's not performing well. I think Ricciardo knows that he's not performing well.
But isn't part of it the car as well? Isn't the car a piece of junk?
I would agree with you under normal circumstances, but the fact that your other drivers are finishing ahead of you in the top 10 and getting the points pretty much every single race is the difference.
Not necessarily, because look at Hamilton and Russell the last few races. Look, Russell hasn't finished outside of the top 5, and Hamilton was in like 14th place, 10th place. There's a huge deficit.
I think we.
Yeah, but Hamilton's Hamilton.
Yeah. Well, and I think we talked about it in a previous podcast. It's also the fact that George Russell came from a car that wasn't the best. So he works better with cars that aren't as good. And I think that's what Mercedes is dealing with. They went from such a top tier car and well-designed car and well-balanced car to something that has a lot of porpoising that, that Hamilton necessarily can't deal with. And I think with Russell being a younger driver and having to come from a team that wasn't so good, I think he's handling it a lot better.
Russell's used to squeezing 10 miles out of a fucking snail. So now he's like, oh man, this is amazing. Hamilton's used to getting 20 miles out of a Ferrari. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mercedes.
Well, the other part, because we talked about the DNFs for Ferrari, the one that kind of blew our mind was the Yuki Tsunoda DRS flap breaking in half or splitting in half.
They said, I know what's wrong with it. It ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas in it. As someone who was in theater growing up, I know very well that duct tape fixes everything in life.
Absolutely it does.
Relationships, broken sets, broken costumes,
Fierce.
And broken heart.
and broken hearts. The fact that they just brought out the duct tape for the wing, to me, it seems to me that AlphaTauri is just an incredible team.
They're ahead of the game.
They're ahead of the game,
Yeah.
miles away of everybody else. Guaranteed, Mercedes would have taken that car off and put it away.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
AlphaTauri,
No.
a little duct tape will fix this.
They didn't even finish in the points. Yuki didn't even finish in the points.
It wasn't even about that. He
Yeah,
out of the
he
points.
finished.
Like, we
He
don't.
finished.
They knew
Yeah.
he was going to be out of the points, and they're like, "That's okay. Let's duct tape it and keep it going."
But here's the thing: is it brought attention to the car. That's what you're trying to do. You're driving the car on the track. If you're not going to get any points, the only reason you're trying to drive around the track is because you're just trying to flaunt your sponsorships, right? At that point, the fact that they duct tape that rear flap brought attention to the car.
That was a baller move.
I'm just saying that's the most airtime Yuki has gotten when he's driving outside of the top 10. And I don't know. I mean, if I was AlphaTauri, I will make sure to post that everywhere so that the duct tape manufacturers can sponsor them now.
Yeah.
Right. But Yuki Tsunoda is such an interesting character because he's so mouthy. So, granted, it's not his fault the wing's broken. It's not his team's fault the wing's broken. It just is what it is. And then he comes in and he's like cursing at them. It's like, come on.
He's very aggressive with the way I think he's gotten better this season, especially after the Drive to Survive premiere. I think he's gotten better. But his approach, like, I think when he says, like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, he's not yelling at the team. I think he's just like, it's just harsh. It comes off harsh, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Yuki saw Drive to Survive and realized he was a douche.
Yes.
And then he said,
And
okay,
lazy.
I guess I gotta do better.
But you know what? He's small enough that if Formula One doesn't work out, he could always be a jockey.
This is true.
Very, very true.
This is true.
So we have a friend that's in the military. He worked on choppers,
Planes.
and he informed us that there's a military grade tape.
Duct tape, right.
Yeah, it's duct tape. It's Gorilla tape.
Duct-like tape.
But they use this tape on their planes to adhere onto the car. I'm like, the plane. That does not seem safe.
Imagine you look out your window and there's just somebody on the wing taping it, and they're like, hey.
Well, on our trip back to the plane home from New York, it had tape on it.
Bitch, what?
This is information that
She
is
did.
good that you kept until you landed.
Yeah, it had tape. And I did not say anything for a reason, but I was like, well, I feel comfortable knowing that the military does it. Here's the thing is the only reason they put tape on the car is because they're not trying to fix anything. They are taping down the rivets that are coming up. And those rivets need to stay down and adhere to the so it's flush with
Something about aerodynamics just isn't working for me. I'm already stressed and upset because I could have died.
What you're trying to say is when you're going, I think the highest speed I saw today was 208. When you go 208 miles an hour, a piece of duct tape is fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Hell no.
It wasn't regular duct tape. It was shiny duct tape.
Shiny, probably some sort of extra grade duct tape, you know?
Yeah.
As far as duct tape goes, I'm sure it was, you know.
You put me on a plane.
Oh, I didn't put you on a plane. You chose to go on the plane.
You let me get on a plane that was, oh my gosh. You cannot be trusted with my safety.
Well, if it was Frontier Lines, I would say
Spirit.
Frontier or Spirit. I'd be like, yeah, that's probably not, you know. But then again, when you fly, you're sitting on a bench seat too, so you know. It's like the yellow school bus with no seatbelt, and it's just like the little padding is already gone.
Yeah.
Metal. You know, that's what that is. So it's a little different, you know. If you get on a United, airline or something else, and it's got duct tape, be like, okay, I'll trust it a little more.
There's a reason why you didn't tell me.
No, there was a reason. Yeah, I didn't say anything. Plus, I felt comfortable.
No, I was already having a panic attack.
So in 2016, Azerbaijan joined the F1 calendar. And since it joined the F1 calendar, there has been 6 different not podium finishers, winners of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Max Verstappen being the newest addition to that list. Want to get your thoughts? I'll start off with Jessica, just because I know how she feels.
Oh, tell me more. Tell me more about that.
Yes.
I'm just
He won this one.
I
fairly.
care less. I could care less.
I'm on your team normally when it comes to Max Verstappen winning anything. I would say strategy-wise, what Red Bull did was brilliant, and I would say that he had the pace. Perez did not have the pace. The fact that he finished by 24 seconds ahead of Perez, that just tells you that there was no way that any of the strategy was going to work. For them. Could they have pitted early? As soon as they had the virtual so that Perez can get tires, they got ahead. Yeah, that could have happened. They could have gotten ahead. But it was a gamble. And as we all know in Formula One, the gambles sometimes are what gives you the championships.
Check the car. Something's illegal on the car.
Yeah, why is the car so fast? Check that car. So
yeah, 24 seconds is a huge delta.
It was long. So
that's terminology from. That's a huge delta. Who taught you that? Who are you talking to?
I'm educated.
That's a huge delta. Who, sir?
Did I use the term? I used the terminology, right?
Yes, you did.
Jail. You go straight to jail.
Yeah, 24 seconds is a big difference, and I don't know. It just seems off. Like, what is it? I know we argue that the cars are the same, but is it just outclassed? Because
there was at the beginning there was Perez did kind of step on it and get ahead and kind of burn his tires out right away. So I can see why they're saying, oh, you kind of burn out your tires a little too much. It was too hard, and I get that. But I think after they both pitted, he just didn't have the pace. He wasn't going as fast. I don't know if that was just. So yeah, he did. I mean, after he pitted, he still didn't have the pace. I'm going to go out and say that even if Leclerc stayed ahead, I think Verstappen would have caught right up to him right before the end of the race.
So you don't think if there was no engine problems, you still think Verstappen would have won?
Yeah, because at that time, I think Leclerc was up 6 seconds by the time the second virtual card had happened. It had been 6. I think it was 6 or 7 seconds ahead, and Leclerc was going at least a second faster.
You think he would have won the race?
I think he would have still passed Leclerc.
Wait, who would have passed Leclerc?
Verstappen.
Verstappen would have passed Leclerc.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
If Ferrari had stayed in.
Yeah.
I think that's my assumption. We'll never know.
Yeah.
Because Ferrari's not wanting to race.
Well, the last point that I had was Lewis Hamilton and his back issue. There's not too much information out about it right now.
It's all speculation. I think Total Wolff said that he feels that it's more than muscular, that it's skeletal, and which means that if it's an issue with his actual bones that's been damaged, he might sit out Canada, which we don't know if he sits out Canada. There's only one person for the job.
Hulkenberg.
That's right. I don't care who the backup driver is. There's only one man you call.
Put Hulkenberg on the track.
And here's the thing. I feel I'm confident. You get Hulkenberg to ride that car, and he finishes in the points, and he might even take podium.
Yeah.
Imagine Hulkenberg gets his first podium when he's covering for Hamilton, and he wins it for a Mercedes.
Yeah.
I think Hamilton's ego's too big that he's not gonna miss a race.
I agree, but you know he did get COVID.
But he had already won the championship at that point. That's why he took it. He didn't need to be there.
No,
When he got COVID and he missed the race and Russell drove for him, he had already won the championship.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So he didn't have any need to be there.
Yeah, but he still pushed the button so Russell wouldn't win.
Very true.
We all know that's true.
That was
What a coincidence. Oh, we got the wrong tires on you, pit. And then he gets ahead again. Oh, you have a leak. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing in that race I felt like that would cause that much chaos. Like, how can they mess up that bad to where they put Bottas's tires on?
That was Sir Lewis Hamilton's call.
Sir Lewis made the call.
Yeah.
He's got the button and he pushed it.
Fuck him up.
I mean, listen, Toto Wolff got on the radio today and told Russell, good drive, you're doing all right, you know, we got fun. Then he gets on Lewis, who finished just one place behind and said, I'm sorry you're driving a shit box today. That's the difference on the drivers. You call your third place driver and tell him, great drive, we did really good. And then the guy that's right behind him says, I'm sorry I gave you a shit box to drive. Come on. You know who their favorite child is.
Well, I guess from there, should we segue into next race predictions?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are your next race's predictions?
You know what? I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to go with Sergio Perez takes first place.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, though?
Yeah.
What are the parameters? Like, we have 3 predictions. You had kind of different predictions. You didn't necessarily go first, second, third.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of had Verstappen hitting the wall, yada, yada, yada. Is it if we get whoever gets the most correct predictions?
Right. I mean, even if they don't finish 1, 2, and 3,
Okay.
if all 3 are on top, then you pretty much got it.
Got it.
So I think Leclerc gets on second. He's going to get on the podium this time around. And then I think Verstappen's going to get third.
Okay. What are your predictions, my love?
Of course, I think Carlos is going to crash.
No, you only get 3 predictions.
I know, but I think it's going to crash. But I don't think that's as strong a feeling as the other ones.
I feel like mine are going to be a little bit more involved.
Okay.
I think that I got to go to the Canadians. I think Latifi is going to get 3 positions better than what he qualified.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that a safe kind
That's
of
good.
prediction?
That's good. No, that's good.
That's kind of like a wild card.
Yeah, I don't think he can do. Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's very optimistic.
Yeah, very optimistic. Okay. Is that including the DNFs? I'm thinking about like if there are DNFs in the race, then does that count? Because that's still position gain.
It should count. It should count.
All right.
Hold on.
So 3 positions better than what he qualified.
Okay. Latifi.
What if I told you Latifi is not even going to qualify?
Oh. Well, that would put him at 20th, and he would have to get 17th.
Plus penalties? Yeah, that's good.
What's your second prediction?
I will say Verstappen second, and Lewis third on the podium.
Ooh, Lewis third. So number 1 was Latifi finished 3 positions higher than what he qualified.
Yep.
Okay.
Number 2, Verstappen gets second.
Second place, and Lewis
Gets
getting
third.
third.
Okay.
So
Jessica?
my predictions, I think Lewis wins.
Oh, optimistic. Okay.
Ricardo finishes 7 or better.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Very optimistic.
And then I think, unpopular opinion, Perez gets a DNF.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
Oh wow.
You think Max is going to push that button, huh?
Now, the reason I say that is because they were a little finicky towards the beginning of the season. And then now Ferrari's having all the problems. Like, somebody's going to fuck up somewhere. You know what I mean?
Okay, given your prediction to given you guys' way of picking, I want to change my third prediction.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll let you do
I
that.
don't care about Verstappen anymore.
Okay.
Since Lewis is a drama queen, still we rise. I say Lewis is not going to be racing Canada.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Replacement. It better be fucking Hulkenberg.
I swear to
It's probably
goodness.
not going to be him, but it fucking better be.
Are you that hot? Martha's predictions are that she'll still not have an eye next week.
Mama's wins.
It's a bold prediction.
She's hot.
All right. Well, that's it for the show, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us again. See you next week.
And by the way, shots. The losers will take shots.
Losers
Yeah.
Whoever
will
gets the
take-
most predictions right wins, and the losers get shots.
Deal. Sounds
So the
good.
winner gets to choose the shots, or they can defer the choice to the people who lost.
Right.
Okay.
Of what shot to take.
Got it.
So
they're
you
taking a
really
shot.
so technically, if all three of my predictions are right, do you guys take 3 shots?
No, it's just one shot. Let's not get too wild. But if you want to change it right now, it applies to also if you lose.
No, what I'm saying is depending on how many predictions. So if you get the most predictions right, like
God.
you have to take 2 shots, or 1, 2, or 3 shots.
So, for example, like if you get all 3 right and we get 2 right,
You guys have to take 3 shots.
No, we take one shot.
we have to take 1 shot. It should balance out. But if we get no predictions right and you get 3 right, then we have to take 3 shots.
Right, or got it. So,
So
it's
it like balances out, kind of like how we were playing the shuffleboard
Yeah.
game.
So if I get 1 right and 2 wrong, but you got all 3 right, then I have to take 2
2
shots.
shots. Oh.
lock it in, baby.
All right.
All right. Predictions are locked.
It's on video. So
Cheers, guys.
thanks, guys.
Cheers.